I've talked a lot about major scales in previous videos, but let's be honest, I've been really vague about what a major scale actually is. When I've talked about a major scale, I've said something like this. A major scale is what you get when you play the white notes on a piano keyboard from C to C. That collection of notes that goes Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si, and Do. But in this series of videos, I'd like to look in a lot more detail about what a major scale actually is, how it works, and some of the things that we can do with it. I want to start by investigating a major scale using the most precise measuring tool we've learned so far, which is the chromatic interval. I want to find out what is the chromatic interval between each of the scale degrees of a major scale. And that's going to give me a very precise map of what a major scale actually is. So let's start by looking between C and D, or scale degree 1 and scale degree 2. We know that C to D is going to be the interval of a second because we're going through two letter names, C1, D2. What kind of a major second is that going to be? Well, we're going to investigate how many half steps we have to answer that question. So, investigating the half steps, we go C0, C sharp 1, D2. So this is a second that has two half steps. And a second that has two half steps is what we call a major second. Let's investigate the next two notes. D to E, or scale degree 2 to scale degree 3. So we know D to E is going to be the interval of a second because we're traveling through two letter names, D and E. Let's investigate the half steps. D, 0, D sharp 1, E, 2. So this is another second with two half steps, or a major second. Let's look at the distance between scale degree 3 and scale degree 4, or E and F. We know that E to F is going to be a second because we go through two letter names, E1, F2. And how many half steps do we have? Well, let's count them. E0, F1. So we have a second with one half step, which is a minor second. So I'm going to write that lowercase m in front of my 2. Scale degree 4 to scale degree 5, or F to G. We know that that's going to be some kind of a second because we travel through two letter names, F and G. How many half steps do we have? F0, F sharp 1, G 2. So this is a major second, or a second that has two half steps. So I'm going to write that uppercase M with the 2. Next, we have G to A, or scale degree 5 to scale degree 6. We know that G to A is going to be some kind of a second because we travel through G1 and A2. How many half steps do we have? G0, G sharp 1, A2. So this is a second with two half steps, or a major second. Then A to B, or scale degree 6 to scale degree 7. We know that A to B is going to be the interval of a second because we travel through two letter names, A1, B2. How many half steps do we have? A0, A sharp 1, B2. So we have a second with two half steps, or a major second. And then finally, going from scale degree 7 to scale degree 8, or from B back to C, we know this is going to be some kind of an interval of a second because we travel through B1 and C2. Then how many half steps do we have? Well, we have B0, C1. We have one half step. So a second with one half step is a minor second. So there we have it. A very precise map of our major scale. Major second, minor second. Major second, major second, major second, minor second. In the next video, we'll investigate this pattern in a little bit more depth and see what implications that might have for some other things that we can do with a major scale.